Hello and welcome back to Paul the Storytellers. I'm sharing meaningful stories here, and if you're considering liking it and subscribing it, it would be a great help to me. Now, let us begin with another touching stories with the narrative voice of my friend Mary. Let us begin.
Questa che puede sezione training? Ano.
She answered in Russian right in front of the Mafia boss. Guess what? He's Russian. He heard everything. And the worst part? She had no idea that the monster she once ran from was living under the very same roof.
Welcome to my library. I'm Lena, and our story is just beginning.
The phone is ringing in the hallway and nobody is answering it. I'm carrying fresh linens to the executive floor when the sound cuts through the silence of the empty corridor. 3 rings, 4, 5. The kind of persistent ringing that suggests someone important is calling and expecting an answer immediately. I shouldn't answer it. I'm housekeeping. Not reception, not executive assistant. Just the quiet girl who changes sheets and empties trash and tries very hard to be invisible in a building full of people who could destroy me with a phone call if they knew what I really am. But the ringing won't stop, and there's nobody else here. And my mother's voice echoes in my head about always being helpful, even when it's not your job, because you never know when kindness matters. I set down the linens, pick up the phone. Answer in English, because that's what you do in American office buildings when you're trying very hard to blend in. Executive floor, how may I help you? The voice on the other end explodes in rapid Russian, angry, demanding, asking for Dmitry Volkov in a tone that suggests the caller is used to being obeyed immediately and without question. My brain freezes. Nobody here knows I speak Russian. Nobody can know. Russian is the language of my past, of things I survived, of a life I left behind when I was 16, and desperate and willing to do anything to disappear. But the caller is still talking, still demanding, and my mouth opens before my brain can stop it, before I can remember that speaking Russian in this building is dangerous, before I can think about consequences. Он сейчас на встрече. Могу передать сообщение? He's in a meeting. Can I take a message? The words come out perfect. Native. The accent of someone who grew up speaking this language instead of learning it from books. The caller pauses, surprised maybe that someone competent finally answered. Leaves a message I write down in shaking hands. Hangs up. I'm standing there holding the receiver, trying to remember how to breathe when I feel it. That sensation of being watched by someone whose attention carries weight you can't ignore. I turn slowly. He's standing at the end of the hallway. Dmitry Volkov, CEO of Volkov Industries. The man whose office I clean every morning before he arrives. The man I've been successfully avoiding direct contact with for 6 months, because people like him don't notice people like me, and that's exactly how I needed to stay. Except he's noticing now, looking at me with dark eyes that miss nothing, expression unreadable but intense in ways that make my skin prickle with awareness, and fear in equal measure. You speak Russian. His voice is controlled, quiet, carrying authority that doesn't need volume to be absolute. He's speaking English, but the observation feels like an accusation. Yes, sir. I'm sorry. The phone was ringing and nobody was answering, and the caller was insistent, so I'm rambling. Nervous energy making words spill out too fast. I can transfer the message to your assistant. I shouldn't have answered. I'm sorry. Stop apologizing. He's walking toward me now. Slow steps that eat up the distance between us with predatory grace. How long have you worked here? 6 months. Housekeeping. Night shift usually, but I picked up a day shift today because someone called in sick. Why am I telling him this? Why can't I stop talking? I should get back to work. The linens need. You speak like someone who didn't learn Russian from books. He's close now. Too close. I can smell his cologne. Something expensive and masculine that makes my brain do stupid things. You speak like someone who grew up with it. Native fluency. Moscow accent with undertones of something else I can't place. My mouth goes dry. I learned it a long time ago. For work. I'm good with languages. You're lying. He says it casually, like commenting on the weather instead of calling me out on deception that could get me killed if the wrong people find out I'm here. But I'm curious why. Most people who speak Russian that well in this city either work for me or work against me. You're housekeeping. That's either brilliant cover or genuine coincidence. Coincidence. Definitely coincidence. I'm just trying to make rent and pay bills and stay out of trouble. I'm backing away slowly, putting distance between us even though every instinct is screaming that running from predators makes them chase. The message is from someone named Alexei. Said the shipment arrives Thursday and you'll know what that means. I wrote it down here. I hold out the note with hands that shake slightly. He takes it without looking away from me. His fingers brush mine. Brief contact that shouldn't feel like electricity but does. I pull my hand back too fast. He notices. Of course he notices. Men like him notice everything. What's your name? Elena. Elena Morrison. The fake last name rolls off my tongue smooth as glass after 6 years of practice. I should really get back to work. My supervisor will wonder where I am. You'll stay. Not a request. A command delivered with quiet certainty that suggests he's used to being obeyed. I have questions. About your Russian. About how someone with native fluency ended up cleaning offices instead of using skills that are valuable in this city. I like cleaning. It's honest work. Nobody bothers you. You can listen to music and think. And at the end of the day, everything is neat and ordered and you can see what you accomplished. I'm talking too much again. Filling silence with words because quiet makes me nervous. I'm not interesting. Just someone trying to stay employed and invisible. You're many things. Invisible isn't one of them. His eyes do another assessment, taking in my uniform that's too big, my hair pulled back in a bun, my glasses that keep sliding down my nose. Not anymore. Not after answering that phone in perfect Russian and proving you're either very clever or very dangerous. I'm not dangerous. I'm literally the least dangerous person in this building. I clean toilets. That's not exactly threatening behavior. The joke falls flat. He doesn't smile, just keeps looking at me with that intense focus that makes me feel stripped bare. Can I please go? I promise I won't answer phones that aren't meant for me again. No, he pulls out his own phone, types something. You'll report to my office tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. We're going to have a longer conversation about your languages skills and how I can use them. I'm housekeeping. I don't have office skills. I wouldn't know what to do in 9 a.m. Don't be late. He's already walking away, dismissing me like the conversation is over just because he decided it's over. And Elena, whatever you're running from, you should know that secrets are only safe until someone with resources decides to look. I'm very good at finding things people want to stay hidden. He disappears into his office, leaves me standing in the hallway holding linens and fear, and the terrible certainty that I just destroyed 6 months of careful invisibility by answering a phone in a language I swore I'd never speak again. My hands are still shaking when I finish the shift. I'm catastrophizing during the entire subway ride home, imagining worst-case scenarios where Dmitry Volkov digs into my past and finds things that get me deported or killed or worse. I shouldn't go tomorrow. Should call in sick. Should maybe start looking for a new job in a different city where Russian billionaires don't notice housekeeping staff and ask uncomfortable questions. But something in his voice, the way he said secrets are only safe until someone decides to look. The certainty that running now just confirms I have things worth finding. I'll go. I'll answer his questions with carefully constructed truth. I'll convince him I'm boring and ordinary and not worth his time or attention. And then I'll go back to being invisible before he realizes that Elena Morrison is exactly the kind of dangerous he should be worried about. Even if I'm trying very hard not to be anymore. Chapter 2. The call, first cute moment I don't sleep. Spend the entire night staring at my ceiling in the tiny studio apartment I can barely afford. Running through scenarios where tomorrow's meeting goes catastrophically wrong. Where Dmitry Volkov asks questions I can't answer without exposing everything I've spent 6 years hiding. Where my carefully constructed life as invisible housekeeping staff collapses because I couldn't let a phone ring unanswered. At 8:30, I'm standing outside Volkov Industries wearing the only professional clothes I own. Black slacks that are slightly too long. White blouse that's been washed so many times the fabric is thin. My hair in the same bun I always wear because doing anything else feels like pretending to be someone I'm not. My glasses slide down my nose. I push them up. Nervous habit I've had since childhood. The building looks different during morning rush. Full of people in expensive suits carrying expensive coffee, and moving with the confident purpose of individuals who belong in spaces like this. I don't belong here. Not in the executive offices. Not meeting with the CEO. Not anywhere near the life I left behind in Moscow when I was 16 and desperate. But I'm here anyway, because running now just confirms I'm hiding something worth finding. The elevator to the executive floor requires a key card I don't have. I'm trying to figure out how to call up and announce myself when a woman in her 50s appears. Elegant suit. Sharp eyes that assess me in one glance and find me lacking. You're Elena, the housekeeping girl? Her tone suggests housekeeping ranks somewhere below pond scum in her hierarchy of important people. Mr. Volkov is expecting you. Follow me. She doesn't wait to see if I'm following. Just walks toward the elevators with the assumption that I'll comply. I follow because what else can I do? We ride up in silence. She doesn't look at me. I don't try to make conversation. Just focus on breathing normally and not throwing up from anxiety. The executive floor is exactly as I remember from my early morning cleaning shifts. Marble floors, glass walls, the kind of minimalist luxury that screams money without being obvious about it. The woman leads me down a hallway toward what I assume is Dmitry's office. Then I hear it. A child crying. Small sobs that sound like fear mixed with frustration. The sound is coming from a room to our left. The elegant woman ignores it completely, keeps walking like crying children are background noise that doesn't require acknowledgement, but I can't ignore it. Something in those sobs pulls at me, reminds me of being young and scared and alone. Before I can think better of it, I'm moving toward the sound. Opening the door to what appears to be a small waiting room, a boy is sitting on the floor, maybe 4 or 5 years old, dark hair, dark eyes that are currently filled with tears. He's clutching a stuffed bear and crying with the kind of desperation that suggests he's been at it for a while and nobody came. I should leave, should let whoever is responsible for this child handle it, should definitely not get involved when I'm already on thin ice with the CEO, who apparently has questions about my languages skills. Instead, I'm crouching down, getting to his eye level. Speaking in the soft voice I learned works with frightened things, whether they're children or animals, or versions of yourself you thought you left behind. Hey, it's okay. Can you tell me what's wrong? Speaking English, but keeping my tone gentle, non-threatening. Boy looks at me with those dark eyes, hiccups slightly, says something in Russian that I almost don't catch. Я потерялся. Я не знаю, где мой папа. I'm lost. I don't know where my papa is. My heart clenches. I switch to Russian automatically. Твой папа здесь. Он работает в этом здании. Мы найдем его вместе, хорошо? Your papa is here. He works in this building. We'll find him together, okay? The boy nods, wipes his eyes with the back of his hand. I sit down beside him on the floor, completely unconcerned about wrinkling my slacks or looking unprofessional. Pull a tissue from my pocket. Help him blow his nose with the kind of matter-of-fact care that suggests this is normal instead of me bonding with a stranger's child when I should be terrified about my own situation. Как тебя зовут? What's your name? Misha. Misha. Nice to meet you, Misha. I'm Elena. That's a very nice bear. Does he have a name? I'm keeping my voice steady, calm. The boy is relaxing slightly. His crying has stopped. He's showing me the bear and explaining in rapid Russian about how his papa gave it to him and it's his favorite. I'm so focused on Misha that I don't hear the door open behind us. Don't register another presence in the room until a voice cuts through our conversation with controlled precision that makes my spine straighten instinctively. Misha, there you are. I turn. Dmitry Volkov is standing in the doorway looking at us with an expression I can't read. His eyes move from his son to me, sitting on the floor with tissue in hand, back to Misha, who's stopped crying and is now chattering about the nice lady who speaks Russian and helped him. Papa, she found me. I was lost and scared and she made it better. Misha is standing now, running to his father. Dmitry catches him, lifts him with ease, but his eyes stay on me, so I see. His voice is neutral. Thank you for helping him. He sometimes gets overwhelmed in new places. It's fine. He was scared. Nobody should be scared alone. I'm standing now, brushing off my slacks, feeling incredibly awkward about the fact that I just bonded with my CEO's son, while sitting on the floor speaking Russian. I didn't know he was yours. I just heard crying and couldn't walk past. Most people would have. He's still holding Misha, still watching me with that intense focus. My assistant was supposed to be watching him. Apparently, she stepped away for a moment, and he wandered. You found him before security did. I'm good at finding lost things. Comes from being lost myself once. The admission slips out before I can stop it. Too honest, too revealing. I try to backtrack. He sounded scared, and I remember being that age, and you can stop explaining. There's something softer in his expression now. I appreciate you helping him. Misha doesn't warm up to strangers easily. You speaking Russian helped. Most children respond better to their native language when they're upset. It's familiar, safe. I'm edging toward the door. I should let you... you probably have work, and I'm supposed to be meeting with you about... Actually, I don't know what I'm supposed to be meeting about, but I shouldn't keep you waiting. You're not keeping me waiting. You're already here. He sets Misha down gently, says something to him in Russian about going back to the office and playing with his toys. The boy nods, runs off without fear now that his father is here. Dmitry turns his attention fully to me. Walk with me. We'll talk in my office. I follow him down the hallway, trying not to notice how he moves with that controlled grace that suggests power held carefully in check. Trying not to think about how finding his son crying activated every protective instinct I thought I'd buried when I left Moscow. His office is exactly as I remember from cleaning it. Floor-to-ceiling windows, massive desk, art that's probably worth more than I'll make in a lifetime. He gestures to a chair. I sit. He doesn't go behind his desk, instead leans against it, studying me. You're good with children. I like children. They're honest. What you see is what you get. I'm gripping the arms of the chair. Is that why you wanted to see me? Because I found Misha. No, I wanted to see you because you speak Russian like a native, and I need someone with that skill. The fact that you're also kind to frightened children is unexpected bonus. He crosses his arms. I'm offering you a job. Executive assistant. The position requires Russian fluency and discretion. You clearly have both. My stomach drops. I'm housekeeping. I don't have executive assistant skills. I wouldn't know how to. You managed a crisis situation with my son in under 3 minutes using language skills and emotional intelligence most trained professionals lack. That's exactly the kind of competence I need. His voice is firm. And the pay is significantly better than housekeeping. The hours are more stable. And you'll be working directly with me, which means I can ensure your skills are used properly. Why me? You could hire someone with actual credentials, someone who went to school for this instead of someone who cleans offices. I'm shaking my head. This doesn't make sense. It makes perfect sense. I need someone who speaks Russian fluently, who understands cultural context, who can handle sensitive communications with discretion. He's watching me carefully. You're overqualified for housekeeping and underutilized in your current position. I'm offering you an opportunity to use skills you're clearly hiding. The question is why you're hiding them. Maybe I like hiding. Maybe being invisible is safer than being seen. The words come out sharper than intended. Maybe I have reasons for choosing housekeeping over positions that require background checks and references and explanations about where I learned Russian. Maybe you do. I'm not asking for your life story. I'm offering you a job that pays well and uses your actual abilities instead of wasting them on cleaning supplies. He leans forward slightly. Take the weekend. Think about it. Monday morning, you can tell me yes or no. But Elena, whatever you're running from, working for me is significantly safer than working in a building where people ask fewer questions. The implication is clear. He knows I'm hiding something, knows I'm running from something, and he's offering protection disguised as employment. I'll think about it. I stand. Can I go now? Yes. But one more thing. He's moving toward me, close enough that I can smell his cologne again. Thank you for helping Misha, for being kind when you didn't have to be. That matters more than you know. His sincerity catches me off guard. Anyone would have done the same. No, they wouldn't have. Most people would have found someone else to handle it. You sat on the floor and made him feel safe. That's rare. Don't minimize it. He's still too close, still looking at me with that intensity. I'll see you Monday, with your answer. I leave before I can do something stupid like agree immediately or ask why he's being kind when he should be suspicious. Make it to the elevator, down to the lobby, out to the street before I let myself process what just happened. Dmitry Volkov offered me a job. As his executive assistant, working directly with him, using Russian I swore I'd never speak professionally again. It's dangerous. It's risky. It's everything I should say no to. But the pay would mean I could afford heat in winter, could save money, could maybe stop living paycheck to paycheck in constant fear that one emergency destroys everything I've built. And something about the way he looked at me when I was helping Misha, like I was competent instead of invisible, like my skills mattered instead of being liabilities. I have the weekend to decide if safety through invisibility is worth more than the dangerous possibility of being seen. Chapter 3. Connection. First, embarrassment. I say yes. Spend the weekend convincing myself it's practical instead of reckless. The pay is triple what I make in housekeeping. The hours mean I can actually sleep at night instead of working graveyard shifts that leave me exhausted and isolated. And working directly for Dmitry Volkov means protection from the kind of background checks that dig too deep and find things I can't explain. Monday morning, I'm back in the building wearing the same black slacks and white blouse because my professional wardrobe consists of exactly one outfit. The receptionist directs me to the executive floor with a smile that suggests she's been informed about my new position, and finds it interesting that housekeeping staff are getting promoted to C-suite. Dmitry's assistant from Friday, the elegant woman who ignored a crying child, is waiting when I step off the elevator. Her expression suggests she's already decided I'm inadequate for this position and is waiting for me to prove her right. You're Elena, the new assistant. She says it like she doesn't believe the words coming out of her own mouth. I'm Margaret. I've been with Mr. Volkov for 15 years. I'll be training you on procedures and expectations. Try to keep up. She doesn't wait for response, just launches into rapid-fire explanation of schedules and protocols and systems that make my head spin. I'm taking notes furiously, trying to absorb information about calendar management and communication preferences, and the 17 different ways Dmitry takes his coffee depending on time of day and stress level. Questions. Margaret is looking at me with expression that suggests she hopes I have many questions so she can be condescending about answering them. No, I think I understand. I'm lying. I understand maybe 60%, but asking for clarification feels like admitting weakness. Good. Mr. Volkov will be here in 20 minutes. He takes his morning coffee black, no sugar, no cream. The machine is temperamental. Don't break it. She's already walking away. His first meeting is at 9:30. The files are on your desk. Familiarize yourself with the contents before he asks questions. I'm left standing in what is apparently my workspace. A desk outside Dmitry's office. A computer that's newer than anything I've ever used. A phone with more buttons than seems necessary. And a coffee machine that looks like it requires an engineering degree to operate. The files Margaret mentioned are sitting in neat stack. I open the first one. It's entirely in Russian. Financial reports from what appears to be shipping operations in the Baltic. Technical language I can read but don't fully understand without context. I'm 3 pages deep when I hear his voice. You came. I look up. Dmitri is standing a few feet away, looking exactly like he did Friday except somehow more imposing in the morning light. Dark suit that's perfectly tailored, hair that's slightly damp like he showered recently, eyes that track my expression with focused attention. You offered me a job. I accepted. That generally means showing up on the first day. I'm trying for professional. Landing somewhere near nervous. Margaret has been explaining procedures. I'm familiarizing myself with files. I promise I'm not completely incompetent, even though I probably seem that way. You seem nervous, not incompetent. He's moving toward his office. Coffee. Then we'll discuss your actual responsibilities, which are significantly different from whatever Margaret told you. I stand too quickly. My chair rolls backward and hits the desk. I grab it, steady it. Try not to look as flustered as I feel. Black coffee. No sugar or cream. I'll bring it to your office. Correct. You were paying attention. There's something that might be approval in his voice. Take your time. The machine is complicated. He disappears into his office. I'm left staring at the coffee machine that does indeed look complicated. Multiple buttons, settings in 3 languages, a manual that's approximately 30 pages long. I can do this. I've survived worse than temperamental coffee machines. I've survived Moscow winters and immigration and 6 years of hiding. I can figure out how to make coffee. 15 minutes later, I'm carrying a cup of coffee that I'm reasonably certain is correct. Black, hot. No obvious signs of mechanical failure from the machine. I knock on Dmitri's door, hear him say something that sounds like permission to enter. His office is exactly as I remember from cleaning it, except now I'm here during business hours and he's behind his desk looking every inch the powerful CEO instead of absent presence I worked around at 4 a.m. Coffee. I'm walking toward his desk, trying not to notice how my hands want to shake. I think I got it right. But the machine is definitely complicated, so if it's wrong, my foot catches on absolutely nothing. The coffee cup tilts. Everything happens in slow motion. The dark liquid arcing toward expensive desk, toward important papers, toward complete humiliation on my first day. Dmitri's hand shoots out, catches the cup before it spills, steadies it with reflexes that are too fast to be anything except trained response to danger. We're both frozen, his hand wrapped around the cup. My hand still holding it, close enough that I can feel the heat of him. Good reflexes. My voice comes out breathless, embarrassed. Thank you for saving me from destroying your desk on day 1. I have excellent reflexes. Comes from years of avoiding actual danger. Coffee spillage is minor threat. He's taking the cup from my hand, setting it on his desk. Breathe. You're not the first person to almost drop something in my office. You won't be the last. I'm normally more coordinated. I don't know what happened. My foot caught on nothing, and suddenly gravity decided today was the day to betray me. I'm rambling again, nervous energy making words tumble out. I promise I'm not always this disaster-prone. You seem exactly disaster-prone enough to be interesting. He's gesturing to the chair across from his desk. Sit, before you hurt yourself trying to remain standing. I sit because standing feels dangerous at this point. My face is burning with embarrassment. I push my glasses up my nose, try to compose myself into something resembling professional assistant instead of walking catastrophe. I'm sorry. Bad first impression. I'll do better. I can be competent, I swear. The words rush out before I can stop them. Elena. His voice cuts through my spiral with quiet authority. Breathe. I don't expect perfection. I expect effort and honesty. You've demonstrated both already. The coffee is fine. You didn't spill it. Nothing is ruined. Stop catastrophizing. I'm not catastrophizing. I really need this job and I don't want to mess it up in the first hour by proving I can't walk and carry liquids simultaneously. I'm gripping the arms of the chair. That's reasonable concern, not I'm gripping the arms of the chair. That's reasonable concern, not catastrophizing. It's anxiety, which is understandable given that you're starting a new position that's completely different from your previous role. He's watching me with that focused attention. But you need to understand something. I don't hire people who can't handle pressure. You speaking Russian to calm my terrified son while sitting on the floor tells me you can handle significantly more pressure than spilled coffee. Trust that I know what I'm doing when I offer positions. The vote of confidence settles something in my chest, makes breathing easier. Okay, I'll try to trust that, and I'll try not to spill things. Though I'm not making promises about the second part. Because apparently I have coordination issues today. Noted. Now, let's discuss what you'll actually be doing. He's pulling up something on his computer. Margaret handles my domestic schedule and standard communications. You'll be handling sensitive international communications, specifically with Russian contacts who require cultural fluency and discretion. Think of yourself as translator and cultural liaison rather than traditional assistant. That's significantly more specialized than I expected, because you have specialized skills most people don't. Russian fluency at native level, cultural understanding that goes beyond language, and apparently the ability to stay calm in crisis situations. He's looking at me directly now. I'm not wasting those skills on calendar management when I have actual need for them elsewhere. What kind of communications are we talking about? Legal business? Or, I stop, not sure how to ask if I'm being hired to facilitate things that aren't entirely legal without actually saying those words. Legal business that requires discretion. I run shipping operations that work with international partners who prefer conducting business in their native language, with people who understand context. His voice is carefully neutral. Everything you'll translate is legitimate, but some of it is sensitive, requires someone trustworthy who won't repeat what they hear. I'm good at not repeating things. I've been practicing for 6 years. The admission slips out before I can stop it. Too honest again. I've noticed. Your ability to stay invisible despite having skills worth noticing is impressive. Makes me think you've had practice disappearing. He's still watching me. I'm not asking you to explain, but I am asking you to trust that working here is safer than wherever you were before. Whatever you're running from, you're protected while you work for me. The implication is clear. He knows I'm hiding something. Maybe not details, but enough to understand I'm running. And he's offering protection in exchange for loyalty and skills I've been suppressing. I'll do the work. I'll be discreet. I'll earn the trust you're placing in me. I meet his eyes, but I can't explain everything about my past. Some things are better left alone. Agreed. I don't need your past. I need your present competence and your future loyalty. He stands. Now, there's a call coming in at 10 a.m. from Moscow Contact. I need you to translate in real time. Think you can handle that without spilling anything? I can handle translation. The not spilling things is still questionable. The joke comes out before I can stop it. He almost smiles. Almost. Good. Self-awareness is valuable. Come back at 9:50. We'll run through protocol before the call. He's already turning to his computer, dismissing me. And Elena, welcome to the team. Try not to kill yourself walking back to your desk. I make no promises. Gravity seems particularly aggressive today. I'm standing, moving toward the door with exaggerated care that makes him actually smile this time. Small expression, but genuine. Noted. I'll have maintenance check for floor hazards. I make it back to my desk without incident. Spend the next 40 minutes reviewing files and trying not to think about how I just almost spilled coffee on my new boss. Made jokes about my own coordination issues, and somehow came out of the interaction feeling less anxious instead of more. Working for Dmitry Volkov is going to be dangerous for entirely different reasons than I anticipated. Not because he's threatening, but because he's kind in unexpected ways. And kindness from powerful men is the most dangerous thing I know. Chapter 4. Past That Doesn't Close.
Without a doubt, awkwardness turning into attraction is my favorite genre. And do you agree?
Chapter 4. Past That Doesn't Close. The phone call at 10 a.m. goes better than expected. I sit beside Dimitri's desk with a headset and notepad, while he conducts business with someone in Moscow who speaks too fast and uses slang I haven't heard in 6 years, but muscle memory kicks in. My brain switches to Russian mode, and suddenly I'm translating in real time, catching nuances and cultural context that straight translation would miss. Dmitri watches me work with focused attention that should make me nervous, but somehow doesn't. When the call ends, he leans back in his chair looking satisfied. That was flawless. You caught the implication about timing that I would have missed without cultural context. He was being polite but firm about deadlines. Russians don't say no directly. They imply obstacles and expect you to read between lines. I'm taking off the headset. Your response was perfect. Acknowledged his concerns without committing to impossible timeline. Because you told me what he was actually saying versus what the words meant. He's making notes. This is exactly why I needed someone with native fluency. Margaret speaks Russian but misses context. You don't. I grew up with it. You learn to read subtext when survival depends on understanding what people really mean. The admission slips out before I can stop it. Too revealing. I try to backtrack. Language is complicated. Context matters. It does. He's watching me again with that intensity. Where did you grow up? Moscow. Yes. Until I was 16. The truth comes out carefully, measured. Then I came here, started over, new life, new name, new everything. Elena Morrison isn't your real name. Not a question. A statement delivered with certainty that suggests he already knows. It's my legal name. Has been for 6 years. The person I was before doesn't exist anymore. I'm gripping the notepad. Is that a problem? For employment purposes? No. I don't care what name you use as long as you're competent at your job. Which you clearly are. He pauses. But I am curious. What made a 16-year-old leave Moscow for America alone? Survival. Same reason most people run. I had choice between staying and dying or leaving and living. I chose living. My voice is steady despite my heart racing. That's all you need to know. Fair enough. He doesn't push. Just shifts topics like understanding when to stop pressing is a skill he's mastered. I need you to review contracts this afternoon. Russian language, technical shipping terms. Make sure translation is accurate before I sign anything. I can do that. Just point me to the files. I'm standing, grateful for the subject change. Elena. He stops me before I reach the door. Thank you for being honest about your past. Even though it cost you to share, I won't ask for more than you're willing to give. The kindness in his voice makes my throat tight. You're welcome. And thank you for not asking questions I can't answer. I spend the afternoon in focused work, reviewing contracts, catching mistranslations that would have cost significant money, making notes about cultural considerations in business language that matter more than exact words. At 3 p.m., Margaret appears at my desk. Mr. Volkov's son is here. School ended early. He usually stays in the break room until his father finishes work. Make sure he doesn't wander. She's gone before I can ask questions. I find Misha in the break room looking small and lost in a space designed for adults. He sees me. His face lights up with recognition. Elena, you work here now? He's speaking Russian, excitement making his words tumble over each other. Papa said you help him with important things. Are you important? I crouch down to his level. Can't help smiling at his enthusiasm. I help your papa with work. I don't know if that makes me important, but it makes me busy. How was school? Boring. We learned about numbers again. I already know numbers. He's showing me a drawing. I made this for Papa. It's a ship. He works with ships. That's a very good ship. I'm sure he'll love it. I'm examining the drawing with genuine interest. Do you like ships? I like when Papa takes me to see them. They're big, bigger than buildings. He's sitting beside me now, completely comfortable. Do you have a Papa? The question hits harder than expected. I did, a long time ago. He's gone now. Like my mama, she's gone too. Papa says she's in heaven watching over me. His small voice carries loss. He's too young to fully understand. Do you miss your Papa? Every day. But missing people means they mattered. That's important to remember. I'm fighting the tightness in my throat. Your Papa loves you very much. I can tell. He's always working, but he tries to play with me when he's home. Misha is pulling out coloring books. Will you color with me? Everyone else is too busy. I should say no. Should get back to contracts and work that's actually my job. But something about this small boy who lost his mother and spends afternoons alone in break rooms waiting for his father breaks my heart. I can color for a little while. What are we coloring? We spend an hour on the floor with crayons and coloring books. Misha chatters in Russian about school and friends and his bear and 1,000 small details that matter enormously when you're 5 years old. I listen and color and feel something in my chest unclench that's been tight for 6 years. I don't hear the door open, don't register another presence until Misha jumps up shouting, "Papa!" and runs toward the entrance. I look up. Dmitri is standing in the doorway watching us with expression I can't read. You're coloring. His voice is neutral, but something underneath suggests emotion held carefully in check. Misha asked, I had time between contracts. I'm standing, brushing crayon dust off my slacks. I hope that's okay. Margaret said he stays here after school, and I thought company might be better than sitting alone. It's more than okay. He's looking at Misha, who's showing him the ship drawing with pride. Most people ignore him when he's here, treat him like inconvenience instead of child. You sat on the floor and colored with him. He's 5. He shouldn't be sitting alone waiting for adults to finish being busy. Children need attention. I'm gathering the coloring books. Besides, he's good company, better than contracts about shipping logistics. Elena speaks Russian like me, Papa, and she knows about missing people who are gone. And she's nice. Misha is still clutching his drawing. Can she color with me more? If Elena has time and wants to? Yes. Dimitri's eyes meet mine over Misha's head. Something passes between us. Understanding maybe, or recognition of shared loss. But now we need to go home. Say thank you. Thank you, Elena. Will you be here tomorrow? Misha is hugging my legs with the unself-conscious affection of children who decide they like you. I'll be here tomorrow. We can color more if you want. I'm ruffling his hair gently. Go with your papa. Be good. They leave. Dmitri carrying Misha, who's still chattering about crayons and ships and the nice lady who plays with him. I'm left in the break room surrounded by coloring books and the realization that I just bonded with my boss's son for the 2nd time this week. I return to my desk. The contracts are waiting. I work until 6 before gathering my things to leave. Dimitri's office door is still closed. Light visible underneath suggesting he's working late. I shouldn't knock. Should just leave quietly. But something makes me tap gently on his door. Hear him say enter. He's at his desk. papers everywhere, looking tired in ways that expensive suits can't hide. Elena, you're still here. Finishing contracts. They're done. I left notes about concerns with terminology. I'm hovering in the doorway. I just wanted to say thank you for letting me spend time with Misha. I know that's not part of my job description, but he's a sweet kid and I enjoyed it. He liked you immediately. Doesn't usually warm to people that fast. Dmitri sets down his pen. Can I ask you something personal? You can ask. I might not answer. You mentioned your father is gone, and you clearly understand loss in ways most people don't. What happened? His voice is gentle, not demanding, just curious. I'm quiet for a moment, weighing how much truth is safe. My parents died when I was 15. Car accident in Moscow. I had no other family. The system wanted to put me in state care. I ran instead, came here, started over, the abbreviated version, leaving out details that are too painful to share. You've been alone since you were 15. Understanding floods his expression. That's why you're so good at staying invisible. You've been practicing survival. Yes, and it worked until I answered a phone in Russian and reminded you I exist. I try for humor. It falls flat. I'm glad you answered that phone. Glad you exist in ways I can see instead of ways I overlooked. He stands, comes around his desk. You're not alone anymore, Elena. Not while you work here. That's a promise. The sincerity in his voice makes my eyes burn. You barely know me. I know enough. You're kind to frightened children. You work hard. You protect people who need protecting even when it costs you. That's everything I need to know. He's close now. Not touching, but present. Go home. Rest. Tomorrow there's another call at 9. I need you sharp. I'll be sharp. And thank you for the promise, even if I don't know how to trust it yet. I'm backing toward the door. Good night, Dmitri. Good night, Elena. His use of my first name feels intimate. And Elena, you're doing better than you think. Stop doubting yourself. I leave before the kindness unmakes me completely. Walk to the subway with his words echoing in my head. You're not alone anymore. It's a dangerous promise. The kind I want to believe despite knowing better. The kind that makes me hope when hope has gotten me hurt before. But maybe, just maybe, this time is different. Chapter 5. More intense. 3 weeks into working for Dmitri Volkov, and I'm starting to feel dangerous things like safety and belonging. He calls me into meetings where I translate conversations that matter, asks my opinion on cultural nuances like my perspective is valuable, instead of just convenient. Lets me leave early on Tuesdays to volunteer at the community center, teaching English to immigrants because he understands what it's like to need help navigating a new country. Misha has decided I'm his favorite person after his father, runs to me when he arrives after school, shows me drawings and homework and small treasures he finds important. I've started keeping crayons at my desk and children's books in Russian because seeing him light up when I read to him makes something in my chest warm in ways I forgot were possible. It's perfect. It's terrifying. It's everything I told myself I couldn't have when I left Moscow 6 years ago. I'm reviewing shipping manifests Thursday afternoon when the fire alarm goes off. The sound is piercing, immediate, the kind of alarm that means this isn't a drill. Margaret appears at my desk. Building evacuation. Quickly, don't take anything. Just go. She's already moving toward the stairs. I grab my phone out of habit, start toward the emergency exit. Then I remember. Misha. He's in the break room. I saw him there 20 minutes ago, coloring while waiting for Dmitri to finish a conference call. Everyone is moving toward exits, following protocol, getting out efficiently and quickly. I should follow them. Should trust that someone grabbed Misha. Should focus on my own safety like every evacuation procedure ever written tells you to do. Instead, I'm running toward the break room, pushing against the flow of people evacuating. My heart is hammering so hard I can feel it in my throat. The alarm is still blaring, emergency lights are flashing, and all I can think is that Misha is 5 years old and alone and probably terrified. I burst through the break room door. He's there, under the table, hands over his ears, crying with the kind of fear that suggests the noise and chaos triggered something primal and overwhelming. Misha, I'm on the floor, crawling under the table. It's okay. I'm here. We need to leave, but I'm not going without you. He sees me, launches himself into my arms. It's too loud, Elena. It's too loud and everyone left. And I don't know where Papa is. I know it's scary, but we're going together. I'm trying to stay calm despite my own panic rising. Can you be brave for me? We need to walk fast to the stairs. I'll hold you the whole time. He nods against my shoulder. I lift him. He's heavier than expected, but adrenaline makes it possible. I'm moving toward the door when I smell it. Smoke, faint but present, getting stronger. This isn't a drill. There's actual fire somewhere in this building. The hallway is empty now. Everyone else evacuated. Just me and Misha and the emergency lights strobing in patterns that make navigation difficult. I'm trying to remember where the nearest stairwell is when I hear footsteps, running, fast. Dmitri appears around the corner. His expression when he sees us is pure relief mixed with fury. What are you doing? Why didn't you evacuate? Misha was alone. I couldn't leave him. I'm still holding the boy who's clinging to me. Where's the fire? 3rd floor. Electrical. Building is evacuating. He's already taking Misha from my arms. Give him to me. We need to move. Now. I hand over Misha. Start toward the stairs. Dimitri's hand catches my arm, stops me. Other way. Main stairwell is blocked. We go through the service exit. We run. Dimitri leading, Misha in his arms, me following close. The smoke is getting thicker. Not dangerous yet, but present enough to make breathing uncomfortable. We hit the service stairs. Start descending. 2 flights down, my foot catches on something. A loose edge of carpeting or my own coordination failing at the worst possible moment. I'm falling. Can't catch myself. Going to hit the landing hard, and there's nothing I can do except brace for impact. Strong hands catch me. Dimitri's arm around my waist, stopping my fall with strength that shouldn't be possible while he's also carrying his son. We're pressed together on the narrow stairwell, him holding both me and Misha, close enough that I can feel his heart racing, matching my own. Are you hurt? His voice is controlled, but there's edge underneath. No, I'm fine. Just clumsy. Sorry, I'm trying to pull away, create distance, but the stairwell is too narrow and his arm is still around me. And stop apologizing. You went back for my son when everyone else evacuated. That's not clumsy. That's brave. He's looking at me with intensity that makes breathing difficult for reasons that have nothing to do with smoke. Can you walk? Yes. I'm fine. Let's keep moving. I'm already stepping back, putting space between us that the narrow stairs immediately eliminate. We make it to the ground floor, out the service exit, into the parking lot where everyone is gathered at the evacuation point. Security is doing head counts. Fire trucks are arriving. The organized chaos of emergency response. Margaret spots us, rushes over, looking relieved and furious. Mr. Volkov, thank God! We couldn't account for you or Misha or... She stops, sees me. Her expression shifts to something harder. You didn't evacuate when the alarm sounded. I went back for Misha. He was alone in the break room. I'm still catching my breath. I couldn't leave him. You violated protocol. Put yourself and Mr. Volkov at risk by forcing him to come looking for you. Her voice is sharp. Professional disapproval, mixed with something that might be jealousy. That's grounds for termination. That's enough, Margaret. Dimitri's voice cuts through her lecture with authority that allows no argument. Elena ensured my son's safety when everyone else followed protocol and left him alone. I'm not terminating someone for that, but the rules clearly state, I don't care about rules when it comes to my son's safety. She went back. She found him. She kept him calm. That's what matters. He's still holding Misha, who's quieter now, but still clinging. We'll discuss evacuation procedures later. Right now, everyone is safe. That's the priority. Margaret presses her lips together, nods stiffly, walks away with posture that screams, this conversation isn't over. I'm standing awkwardly trying to process what just happened. The smoke, the fear, the way Dimitri caught me on the stairs, the feeling of his arm around my waist, and his voice saying brave instead of reckless. Elena, he's looking at me. Misha is reaching for me too, small hands wanting the comfort of someone familiar. Thank you for going back for him, for not leaving him alone. I couldn't. He's 5. He was terrified. Leaving him wasn't an option. I take Misha when he reaches for me, let him curl against my shoulder. I know I violated protocol. Margaret's right about that, but I'd do it again. I know you would. That's why I trust you with him. Dimitri's expression is complicated, gratitude mixed with something else I can't identify. But you also scared me. Running into a building with a fire, putting yourself at risk. What if something happened to you? Then something happened, but it didn't. We're all fine. I'm trying to minimize, make it less significant than it feels. It was just a small fire. Electrical. Contained. We were never in real danger. We didn't know that when you ran back in. You made a choice to risk yourself for my son without knowing the actual threat level. That's either incredibly brave or incredibly reckless. And I can't decide which. Can't it be both? I try for humor. It falls flat. Look, I'm not a hero. I'm just someone who remembers being young and scared and alone. I couldn't let Misha feel that way. Not when I could prevent it. That's exactly what makes you... He stops, shakes his head. We'll talk about this later. After emergency services clear the building. After everyone calms down. Right now, I need you to take Misha to my car. Wait there. I'll handle the fire department and building management. Your car's locked. I don't have keys. He pulls keys from his pocket, hands them to me. Now you do. Black sedan. End of the lot. Take him there. Keep him calm. I'll be there soon. I take the keys. Take Misha, who's still holding on to me. Walk toward the parking lot, trying not to think about how I just violated every safety protocol to save a child who isn't mine. How Dimitri called me brave. How his arm felt around my waist when he caught me falling. How terrified I was for those few minutes when I thought something might happen to Misha, and I wouldn't be able to stop it. The car is exactly where he said. Expensive, dark, smelling like him when I open the door. I settle into the back seat with Misha, who's finally calming down. down. He curls against me, small and warm and trusting in ways that make my chest ache. Elena, will there be more loud noises? No, the alarm is off. The fire is out. Everything is safe now. I'm running my fingers through his hair. Soothing gesture. You're safe. Your papa is safe. We're all okay. You came back for me. Everyone else left, but you came back. His voice is small, awed. Like a mama would. The words hit like physical impact. I came back because you matter, Misha. Because leaving you alone scared wasn't something I could do. My mama is gone. Papa says she's watching from heaven, but sometimes I wish I had a mama who was here. He's looking up at me with dark eyes too serious for 5 years old. Do you think she sent you? To help Papa and me? I don't know how to answer that. Don't know how to explain that I'm just broken girl from Moscow trying to survive. That I'm not anyone's answer to prayers. Just someone who happened to be in the right place when he needed help. I think sometimes people show up when we need them. Whether that's heaven or luck or just coincidence. I don't know, but I'm glad I was here today. I kissed the top of his head without thinking. And I'm glad you're safe. He falls asleep against me, exhausted from fear and adrenaline crash. I hold him while waiting for Dmitri. Let myself have this moment of feeling like I matter to someone, like my choices protected something precious, instead of just causing more problems. When Dmitri finally appears, he stops at the car door, just looks at us through the window, me holding his sleeping son, both of us safe because I went back. The expression on his face is unguarded, raw, something that looks like longing, mixed with gratitude, mixed with something else I'm afraid to name. He opens the door quietly. He's asleep, exhausted. Fear does that. I'm trying to shift without waking Misha. Building is cleared. Yes, small electrical fire, contained quickly. No major damage. Everyone accounted for and safe. He's reaching for Misha, lifting him carefully. Come on, I'm taking you both home. You've had enough excitement for one day. I can take the subway. You don't need to. Elena, his voice is firm. I'm taking you home. Not a request. Get in the front seat. We're leaving. I get in the front seat because arguing seems pointless when he's using that tone. He settles Misha in the back, buckles him in with practiced ease, then slides into the driver's seat beside me. We drive in silence for several minutes. The city passes outside the windows, rush hour traffic moving slow. Finally he speaks. You terrified me today. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. Don't apologize. Just let me say this. He glances at me. Back to the road. When Margaret said you weren't accounted for, when I realized you might have gone back into that building, I felt fear I haven't felt since my wife died. Pure terror that something would happen to you and I'd be too late to stop it. But I'm fine. Nothing happened this time. But you can't do that again. Can't risk yourself like that. Even for Misha. Even for good reasons. His hands are tight on the steering wheel. I can't lose you. I know that's selfish. I know we barely know each other. But I can't lose you, Elena. Promise me you won't do that again. I can't promise that. If Misha was in danger, I'd do the same thing every time. I'm looking at him. That's not something I can turn off. I know. That's what terrifies me. He's quiet again. Then, stay for dinner. Please, let me feed you. Make sure you're actually okay instead of just pretending to be fine. Dmitri, please. The single word is loaded with emotion he's not quite hiding. Let me take care of you for one evening, after you took care of my son. I should say no, should maintain boundaries, should go home to my small apartment and process everything alone like I always do. Okay, dinner. But just tonight, he agrees. But something in his voice suggests he's hoping for more than just tonight. And terrifyingly, so am I. Chapter 6. First big twist. Dimitri's home is nothing like I expected. Not a cold, minimalist penthouse designed to impress, but an actual house in a neighborhood with trees and sidewalks, and the kind of quiet that suggests families live here instead of just wealthy individuals hiding from the world. 2 stories. Warm lighting visible through windows, a small yard with toys scattered like evidence of real life happening. This is where you live. I'm looking at the house trying to reconcile it with the man who runs an international shipping empire from a glass tower downtown. This is where Misha and I live. I bought it after my wife died. Wanted him to have yard and neighborhood kids and normal instead of penthouse isolation. He's lifting sleeping Misha from the back seat. Come inside. I'll put him to bed, then start dinner. I follow him through a front door that opens into warmth. Hardwood floors, comfortable furniture that looks used instead of decorative, photos on walls showing Misha at various ages, and a beautiful woman with dark hair who must be his mother. Evidence everywhere of a man building a life for his son instead of just existing between work obligations. Make yourself comfortable. I'll be down in a few minutes. Dmitri is already carrying Misha upstairs, leaving me alone in his living room feeling like an intruder in a space too intimate for what we are to each other. I'm studying the photos when he returns, changed from his suit into jeans and a casual shirt that makes him look younger. more approachable, dangerous in entirely different ways. Your wife was beautiful. She was, inside and out. Misha has her eyes. His voice carries loss. That time hasn't completely healed. She died when he was 2. Car accident. Drunk driver ran a red light. She was gone before the ambulance arrived. I'm sorry. That's terrible. The inadequacy of the words makes me wince. Losing someone that way, suddenly, it's the worst kind of grief. You sound like you know from experience. He's moving toward the kitchen, gesturing for me to follow. Your parents. Car accident too. Yes. Moscow winter. Black ice. They hit a barrier going 80 kilometers per hour. Driver died instantly. My mother lasted 3 days in hospital before her injuries were too much. The memory still hurts even 6 years later. I was 15, alone. The state wanted me in care. I ran instead. How did you get to America at 15 with no family? He's pulling ingredients from the refrigerator. Vegetables. Chicken, things that suggest he actually cooks instead of just ordering takeout. That's complicated, and not something I talk about. I'm leaning against the counter, watching him work with surprising competence. You cook. I cook. Misha needs real food, not just whatever Nanny makes. And cooking is meditative, lets me think without distractions. He's chopping vegetables with practiced efficiency. You don't have to tell me how you got here, but I am curious. 16-year-old Russian girl alone in America with fake documents. That's impressive survival. Fake documents. My stomach drops. What makes you think Elena Morrison isn't your birth name? Your Russian is too perfect for someone who supposedly immigrated legally at 16. And you're too careful about your past for someone with nothing to hide. He's not looking at me, just keeps chopping. I had you investigated. Nothing invasive, just basic background check. Your records are clean but incomplete, created 6 years ago with remarkable precision. The betrayal tastes bitter. You investigated me. I investigate everyone who works for me, especially people with access to sensitive information. Now he looks at me. I'm not judging. I'm stating facts. You ran from something in Moscow, created new identity in America, built life from nothing. That takes resources and courage most people don't have. And you're what? Impressed. Suspicious. Planning to report me. I'm backing toward the door. Fight or flight kicking in. I should go. This was a mistake. Don't. He sets down the knife, moves toward me with controlled grace. I'm not reporting you. I'm not threatening you. I'm saying I know you're not who your documents claim, and I don't care. Whatever you did to survive, it worked. You're here. You're safe. That's what matters. You don't know what I did, what I ran from, what I might bring down on you by being here. The words come out harsh. Defensive. You should fire me. Send me away before my past contaminates your present. Your past is your business. Your present is mine. And I'm choosing to keep you regardless of what you're running from. His voice is firm. Absolute. You're not going anywhere, Elena. Not while you work for me. Not while Misha needs you. Not while He stops. Changes direction. Not while you're valuable to my operations. I'm not valuable. I'm liability. Someone who brings risk you can't control. I'm crying without meaning to. You should want me gone. I should want a lot of things I don't actually want. That's the problem with you. He's close now. Too close. You went back into burning building for my son today. You sit on floors coloring with him. You translate my calls with precision and care. You make terrible jokes when you're nervous and push your glasses up constantly and exist in my space like you belong there. I don't belong in your space. I'm housekeeping who got promoted beyond her actual capabilities. My voice is shaking. You'll realize that eventually. Everyone does. Stop. His hands frame my face, gentle but firm. Stop running from people who see you. Stop assuming everyone will leave when things get complicated. I'm not leaving. I'm not sending you away. You're mine now. My employee. My son's favorite person. Mine to protect. That's not changing because your past has mysteries. You don't know me. You don't know what I've done. But I'm leaning into his touch despite myself. You can't protect me from things you don't understand. Then help me understand. Tell me what you're running from. Let me decide if it's something I can handle. His thumbs brush my cheekbones, wiping tears. And I've spent 10 years building empire that touches edges of legal and illegal. I understand complicated pasts and difficult choices. Trust me with yours. I want to tell him everything. About the trafficking ring that took me when my parents died. About the 2 years of hell before I found someone who helped me escape. About the fake documents that cost everything I had. About the people who might still be looking for the girl who disappeared instead of staying obedient. But telling him puts him at risk. Puts Misha at risk. And I can't do that to people who've shown me kindness. I can't. Not yet. Maybe not ever. I pull away from his touch even though it costs me. But I can promise I'm not criminal. I didn't hurt anyone. I just survived things I shouldn't have had to survive and ran when staying meant dying. That's enough. For now. He steps back. Gives me space. But eventually, you'll trust me. Because that's what we're building here. Trust. Partnership. Something that looks like family, even if we're both too scared to name it yet. You're very presumptuous. I'm very certain. There's a difference. He's back to cooking. Now sit. Let me feed you. We'll pretend this conversation didn't get heavy and just exist like normal people having dinner. We're not normal people, no, but we can pretend for an evening. His smile is slight. Consider it practice for whatever comes next. I sit because leaving feels impossible now. Watch him cook with competence that shouldn't be surprising but is. We eat at his kitchen table. Simple pasta with vegetables. Conversation that stays surface level about work and Misha, and neutral topics that don't require emotional excavation. It's nice. Normal. The kind of evening I haven't had since before my parents died. And that terrifies me more than his investigation or his questions or his certainty that I'm his to protect. After dinner, I help clean up despite his protests. We work in synchronized silence that feels comfortable instead of awkward. When the kitchen is clean, he walks me to the door. Thank you. For dinner. For not pushing when I couldn't answer. I'm pulling on my jacket. And for trusting me despite knowing I'm hiding things. Thank you for going back for Misha. For being brave when it mattered. For trusting me enough to stay for dinner. Even though every instinct probably told you to run. He's standing close, not touching but present. Drive safe. Text me when you're home. I don't have your personal number. He pulls out his phone. Type something. Mine buzzes. Now you do. Use it. I want to know you got home safely. Very controlling. Very concerned. There's a difference. His smile is soft. Good night, Elena. See you tomorrow. Good night, Dmitri. I'm halfway home when my phone buzzes again. Not Dmitri. Unknown number. Russian text. We know where you are. Yekaterina. Time to come home. My blood turns to ice. The name I left behind in Moscow. The people I ran from. They found me. And now everyone I care about.
Text, look, I know you hate it when I show up in the middle of the story. I read the comments. Lena, stop interrupting. Let us read in peace. Nobody asked for your opinion. I agree. I find it annoying too. But YouTube has rules. If I don't add these moments between chapters, the video can get taken down or demonetized. It needs natural pauses, analysis, and commentary so the algorithm doesn't freak out. So technically, I'm saving the channel while irritating you. You're welcome. I promise I'll be quick. I come in, say the bare minimum, and leave. Like pizza delivery. Nobody wants conversation. They just want the product. Now back to the story. Bye, Pedro.
Chapter 7. Growing Chemistry plus Sus Family. I don't sleep that night. Just stare at the text message with the name I haven't heard in 6 years. Yekaterina. The girl I was before I became Elena Morrison. Before I ran. Before I built a life from lies and desperation and the fierce determination to never be owned again. They found me. After 6 years of careful invisibility. After changing my name and my history and every identifiable detail, they found me. And now I have to decide if I run again or stay and risk everything I've built. Risk everyone who started to matter. By morning, I've made a decision I know is probably wrong but feels necessary. I'm not running. Not yet. Not until I know what they want and whether the threat is real or just intimidation designed to make me react exactly like this. I show up to work exhausted and terrified but functional. Dmitri takes one look at me and knows something is wrong. My office. Now. Not a request. I follow him in. Close the door. He's behind his desk studying me with focused attention that misses nothing. What happened? Nothing. I just didn't sleep well. The lie tastes wrong. I'm fine. You're many things. Fine isn't one of them. He's already moving around the desk. You look terrified. Did someone contact you? Threaten you? The accuracy makes me flinch. Why would you assume that? Because I know that look. I've seen it on people who are being hunted. Talk to me. What happened? His voice is gentle but firm. I'm weighing options. Telling him puts him at risk. Not telling him leaves me alone with this. And I'm so tired of being alone with fear. I got a text. Last night, after I left your house, I pull out my phone. Show him the message. They know where I am. They used my real name. The one from before. His expression darkens as he reads. Yekaterina. That's who I was. In Moscow. Before everything. My voice is barely audible. The people I ran from. They found me. Who are they? He's already typing on his phone. Give me details. Everything you can tell me. I can't. If I tell you, you become involved. You and Misha become targets. I won't do that. I'm backing toward the door. I should leave. Quit. Disappear before they come here looking for me. Stop. He's in front of me suddenly, blocking my exit. You're not disappearing. You're not facing this alone. Tell me who they are so I can protect you. You can't protect me from them. They're bigger than you think, more dangerous than you understand. Tears are burning my eyes. I have to go, before they hurt you to get to me. Elena. His hands are on my shoulders, firm, grounding. Look at me. Whatever these people are, I've dealt with worse. I don't run shipping operations in international waters without understanding how to handle dangerous people. Trust me. Tell me who they are. The certainty in his voice breaks something in me. Trafficking ring. In Moscow. They took me when my parents died. I was 15. Alone. Perfect target. The words come out broken. I was with them for 2 years before I escaped. They don't like when property runs away. His expression goes from concerned to lethal in seconds. They trafficked you for 2 years. You were a child. I was merchandise. That's how they saw it. How they still see it, apparently. I'm shaking now. Someone helped me escape. Got me fake documents. Money. Helped me get to America. I thought I was safe. Thought they'd given up looking. How did you survive 2 years? His voice is controlled, but rage simmers underneath. I learned Russian perfectly, so I could understand what they were saying. Learned to be invisible so they'd forget I was there. Made myself useful translating for clients who wanted girls who spoke their language. The memories make my stomach turn, and I waited for chance to run. When it came, I didn't hesitate. Good. You survived. That's what matters. He pulls me against him. Strong arms holding me while I shake apart. They're not getting you back. I don't care who they are or what resources they have. You're under my protection now. You don't understand what they're capable of. They kill people who interfere. They have connections everywhere. Money, power. I'm crying against his chest. I can't let you risk yourself and Misha for me. You're not letting me do anything. I'm choosing, and I choose to protect you regardless of risk. He's holding me tighter. We're handling this together, starting with increased security. You're not going home to your apartment. You're staying here. Here, in your office. I pull back to look at him. Here, my house, where I can ensure you're protected 24 hours. His expression allows no argument. Pack a bag tonight. Move into the guest room tomorrow. This isn't negotiable. That's insane. I can't just move into your house because I got a threatening text. But the offer is so tempting I'm already considering it. You can, and you will. I'm not leaving you vulnerable when I have resources to protect you. He's already typing on his phone again. I'm calling my security team. They'll sweep your apartment, install protection, make sure nobody follows you. This is too much. You're doing too much. I'm just your assistant who happens to speak Russian. I'm trying to create distance. You don't owe me this level of protection. You're not just my assistant. You're person Misha asks for every day. Person who went into burning building for him. Person who sits on floors coloring and makes terrible jokes about gravity. His hands frame my face again. You're mine, and I protect what's mine. Accept it. You barely know me. You're risking everything for someone with past full of darkness and danger, but I'm leaning into his touch, craving the safety he's offering. I know enough, and my past isn't exactly clean either. We're both dangerous people trying to build something good. Might as well do it together. He's so close now I can feel his breath. Say yes. Let me protect you. Trust me with this. Yes. The word comes out before I can stop it. But I'm paying rent, and I'm helping with Misha. This isn't charity. Agreed. Though we both know Misha would demand you stay regardless of threats. His smile is slight. Now sit. We have work to do. Conference call in 20 minutes. After that, we're leaving early. Getting your things. Moving you somewhere safe. Very controlling. Very protective. Learn the difference. But there's warmth in his voice. The conference call is torture. I translate while my brain spins with fear and logistics. And the reality that I just agreed to move in with my boss because Russian traffickers found me after 6 years. When it ends, Dmitri is already gathering his things. Let's go. My car. We're getting your essentials. Everything else we can handle later. He's in full protective mode. All business. What about Misha? School pickup. I'm following him. My sister is handling it today. I told her something came up that needed my attention. He's guiding me toward the elevator with hand on my lower back. She'll bring him to the house later. You'll meet her then. Your sister. Right. That's not awkward at all. Meeting family while moving in because I'm being hunted. The laugh that comes out is slightly hysterical. She'll love you. She already does based on Misha's constant reports about the nice Elena who plays with him. We're in the elevator. Alone. Breathe. You're safe. I'm making sure of it. The certainty in his voice makes something in my chest unclench. Maybe I don't have to face this alone. Maybe protection from someone capable is worth the risk of letting them close. Maybe Dmitri Volkov is exactly what I need, even though he's the last thing I should want. My apartment looks different knowing I'm leaving it. Small, temporary, never really home because home requires safety, and I've never been safe anywhere. Dmitri's security team is already there. 2 men in suits who are clearly more than just drivers. They sweep the apartment efficiently while I pack essentials. Clothes. Documents. The few photographs I have of my parents. The stuffed bear I've kept since childhood. That's it. Dmitri is looking at my single duffel bag. I travel light. Habit from being ready to run at any moment. I'm taking one last look around. This is more than I had when I got here 6 years ago. You'll have more now. Room that's yours. Space that's safe, family that protects, instead of hunts. He takes my bag. Let's go home. Home. The word feels foreign, but also right in ways I'm afraid to examine. His house is warm when we arrive. Misha is already there with a woman who looks like Dimitri's female version. Dark hair, sharp eyes, expression that softens when she sees me. You must be Elena. I'm Katya, Dimitri's sister. She's assessing me openly. Misha hasn't stopped talking about you for 3 weeks. I was starting to think you were imaginary. Definitely real, just usually invisible. I'm trying for humor. Thank you for picking up Misha today. Of course, though my brother was very mysterious about why he needed me to. She's looking between us. But now I see. You're moving in. That's interesting timing, given you've only worked for him a month. It's complicated. I don't know what else to say. It always is with my brother. But he has good instincts about people. If he trusts you, so do I. She's already moving toward the door. I'll leave you to settle in. Misha, be good for your papa and Elena. She leaves with knowing smile that suggests she understands more than Dimitri told her. Misha is already pulling me toward the living room, chattering about his day at school. Dimitri watches us with expression that's pure warmth. I'll show you the guest room after dinner. For now, just breathe. You're safe here. His voice is gentle. Whatever happens next, we face it together. And despite every logical reason this is dangerous and reckless, and probably doomed, I believe him. Chapter 8. Second big twist. Living in Dimitri's house feels like stepping into a life that doesn't belong to me. The guest room is bigger than my entire apartment was. Comfortable bed, private bathroom, windows that overlook the backyard where Misha plays. Everything clean and safe and so far removed from the reality I'm used to that I keep expecting to wake up and find it was all desperate fantasy. But it's real. Dimitri makes coffee every morning with precision that suggests control is his love language. Misha climbs into my bed at 6 a.m. demanding stories in Russian. We eat breakfast together like actual family instead of employer and employee who happen to share living space out of necessity. It's been a week. No more texts. No signs of the people who found me. Just normal days of work and evenings of domesticity that feel dangerously permanent. I'm reviewing contracts Thursday afternoon when Dimitri appears at my desk looking tense. We need to talk. My office. Now. His voice has edge I haven't heard before. I follow him in. He closes the door, locks it, moves to his desk and pulls up something on his computer. Turns the screen so I can see. It's surveillance footage. Grainy but clear enough. A man standing outside the office building, watching the entrance. The timestamp shows yesterday evening, around the time I left work. Who is that? But I already know. The cold settling in my stomach tells me before my brain catches up. That's what I'm asking you. My security team flagged him. He's been watching the building for 3 days, always around the time you leave, never approaches, just watches. Dimitri's jaw is tight. And do you recognize him? I lean closer to the screen, study the face that I've spent 6 years trying to forget. Older now. Harder, but unmistakable. His name is Victor. He was one of the handlers in Moscow. He ran the day-to-day operations. He's here, in Los Angeles, watching you. Dimitri pulls up another image. Different angle. Victor on a phone. We have reason to believe he's not alone. There are at least 2 others we've identified, all with connections to Russian organized crime. They sent a team. My voice sounds distant, disconnected. That means they're serious about taking me back. They're not taking you anywhere, but we need to understand what we're dealing with. He's moving around the desk. I have people who can handle this, make them disappear, permanently. But I need you to tell me everything. How big is this organization? How connected? What are we actually facing? They're part of Volkov Bratva, one of the smaller families but still connected to the main organization. The words taste like ash. They operate in Moscow, St. Petersburg, and have expansion in major U.S. cities. Trafficking, drugs, protection, standard organized crime portfolio. I watch his expression change. Watch realization dawn. Volkov Bratva, as in Volkov, my family name. Yes, that's why I reacted when I first heard your full name. Dmitri Volkov. I thought maybe you were connected, part of them. That's why I was so terrified when you started asking questions. The confession spills out. I almost ran that first day because your name matched the people who owned me. He's completely still. Processing. My family name. The same organization that trafficked you. That's not coincidence. I don't know if it's coincidence or connection. I never knew the full structure, just that Victor worked for Volkov family, and that name meant power and fear. I'm watching him carefully. Are you connected? Is that why you have shipping operations in international waters and speak Russian, and have security that's too well trained to be just corporate protection? My father was Volkov Bratva, before he died, before I left Russia and built something legal in America. His voice is controlled, but there's pain underneath. I severed those ties 15 years ago. Came here, started over, built legitimate business. I'm not part of that world anymore, but they still know you. Still claim connection to your family name. I'm backing away from him. That means you're exactly what I was afraid of. Connected to the people who destroyed me. I left that world. I'm not them. I built something different. He's moving toward me. Elena, look at me. I'm not part of what they did to you. I would never, but you were, once, part of the same organization, the same family. Your money probably came from the same trafficking and drugs and violence that funded my captivity. The betrayal tastes bitter. How can I trust you when you're literally named after the people who owned me? Because I chose different. Because I saw what that world does to people and decided I wanted no part of it. Because for 15 years, I've built legal operations and refused every attempt to pull me back in. His voice is desperate now. I'm not my father. I'm not that legacy. I'm just man trying to protect his son and build something good. But they still claim you, still use your family name. Victor probably knows exactly who you are, knows that helping me puts you at odds with people you used to call family. I'm shaking. This is worse than I thought. You're not just random person helping me. You're their enemy who took their property. They'll come for both of us now. Let them come. I have resources they don't expect. Connections that have nothing to do with my father's legacy. I can protect you. He's trying to reach for me. I pull away. You can't protect me from your own family's organization. That's not how this works. They don't forgive betrayal. They don't forget debts. I'm debt they want repaid. The panic is rising now. I have to leave before they realize the connection, before they use you and Misha to get to me. You're not leaving. We're handling this together. His voice is firm. Yes, my father was Bratva. Yes, I have complicated history with that world, but I also have 15 years of building power completely separate from them. I'm not helpless child running from my legacy. I'm man who understands exactly how to fight them. By doing what? Starting war with Russian mafia over girl who's not worth the cost. I'm crying now. Misha could get caught in crossfire. Your business could be destroyed. Your life could end because you decided to protect me instead of handing me over. I would never hand you over. Never. That's not even possibility I'm considering. He's in front of me now, hands on my shoulders. You're mine. I claimed you the moment you started working here. The moment you sat on floor with my son. The moment you went into burning building without hesitation. Mine. And I protect what's mine regardless of cost. You don't know the cost. You're guessing based on power you think you have. But Bratva doesn't care about your American business or your money or your security team. They care about owning what belongs to them. And in their eyes, I still belong to them. Then we change their eyes. We make it clear that touching you means war they can't win. I have allies they don't know about, resources beyond just money. I can make them understand that the cost of taking you is higher than any price they'd get for your return. His voice is absolute. Certain. Trust me. Let me handle this. How? How do you handle organization that operates in shadows and doesn't care about rules or consequences? I'm searching his face for answers. By being worse than they are when necessary. By using connections I've built over 15 years that have nothing to do with my father's legacy. By making it clear that Yekaterina died 6 years ago, and Elena Morrison is under protection they can't penetrate. He pulls me against him. I know how to fight monsters. I used to be one before I decided to be different. The admission should scare me. Instead, it's oddly comforting. You were Bratva, actually part of it. Not just your father's legacy, but you, personally. Until I was 20. Until I saw what it did to people and decided I wanted out. My father let me go because I made it clear I'd burn everything down if he tried to keep me. His arms are tight around me. I know their methods, their thinking, their weaknesses. That's why I can protect you when others couldn't. And if they come for Misha, use him to force compliance. The fear is choking me. They won't. Because I've already made it known through channels they respect that touching my son means immediate and total war. Not legal war, not police war. The kind of war that ends with bodies and burned operations and complete destruction. His voice is ice. They understand that language. They'll respect those boundaries. You'd really go to war over me, risk everything you've built. I'm looking up at him, trying to understand. Yes, without hesitation. Because you're not just employee or convenient translator. You're woman I'm falling for. Woman my son loves. Woman who deserves protection after surviving hell. That would have broken most people. His hand cups my face. I'm all in. Have been since you answered that phone in perfect Russian and looked at me like you'd seen Ghost. Now I know why. My name was Ghost of your trauma, and I'm turning it into your protection instead. This is insane. We barely know each other. We've lived together a week, and you're planning to fight Russian mafia because I got a threatening text. But I'm not pulling away, not running, just letting him hold me. I've made decisions on less information with worse odds. This one feels right. You feel right. Misha needs you. I need you. That's enough reason to fight. He's looking at me with intensity that steals breath. Tell me you'll stay. Tell me you trust me to handle this. I'll stay, but not because I trust this will work, because I'm too tired to keep running, too tired to face this alone, too tired to pretend I don't want what you're offering. The honesty costs me. I want to believe you can protect me. I want to believe your name can be safety instead of terror. I want to believe we can build something despite my past and your legacy, and the people hunting both of us now. Then believe it and let me prove it. He kisses my forehead, gentle, starting now. You're not going to the office tomorrow. You're staying here with increased security while I handle some things. Arrangements that will make it clear you're untouchable. What kind of arrangements? The kind you don't need details about. Just trust that by tomorrow evening, Victor and his team will understand that Elena Morrison is protected by someone they can't afford to cross. His smile is cold. I'm my father's son when I need to be. Tomorrow I need to be. The promise in his voice should terrify me. Instead, I feel something like hope. Maybe he really can protect me. Maybe his legacy is weapon instead of liability. Maybe the same name that represents my trauma can become my shield. Okay, I'll stay here tomorrow. But Dimitri, don't do anything that gets you killed. Misha needs you. And I stop. Can't finish that sentence. And you, he's watching me carefully, and I'm starting to need you too, more than is probably smart or safe or advisable given everything. The admission feels like surrender. And don't make me regret trusting you. I won't, I promise. He kisses me then, not on the forehead, on the mouth, soft and careful, and loaded with promise. When we break apart, he's smiling. Now let's go home. Misha will want dinner, and you need rest. Tomorrow changes everything. I follow him home knowing that tomorrow he's going to do something dangerous, something that uses his past to protect my future, something that might save me or might destroy us both. But for the first time in 6 years, I'm not facing it alone, and that makes all the difference. Chapter 9. Sweet and devastating. Dimitri leaves before I wake up Friday morning. I find a note on the kitchen counter in his sharp handwriting. Handling things. Security is doubled. Don't leave the house. I'll be back by evening. Trust me. D. Trust him. Like it's that simple. Like I haven't spent 6 years learning that trusting powerful men leads to being owned instead of protected. But he's different. Has been from the beginning. And some reckless part of me that survived trafficking and escape and 6 years of hiding wants to believe that different is possible. Misha appears at 7 asking where his papa is. I explain work emergency that required early departure. He accepts this with the easy trust of children who haven't learned to question yet. We make breakfast together, pancakes that are slightly burned because I'm distracted, and he thinks the crispy edges are the best part anyway. Elena, are you staying forever? He's drowning his pancakes in syrup, making a mess I'll clean up later without caring because watching him be carefree is worth sticky counters. Forever is a long time. I'm staying for now. Is that okay? I'm not making promises I can't keep. Papa says you're family now. That means forever. He says it with absolute certainty. He told Aunt Katya that you're the one. I don't know what that means, but it made her smile. My heart does something complicated. Your papa says a lot of things. Doesn't mean they're all true. Papa doesn't lie. He says lying is for people who are scared of truth. He's not scared of anything. Misha is watching me with those dark eyes that are too perceptive for 5 years old. Are you scared? Sometimes, being scared is normal when big things are happening. I'm pushing food around my plate, but your papa is very good at making scary things feel manageable. That helps. He's good at protecting. He protected me when Mama died. Now he protects you too. Such simple faith. That's what papas do. They protect people they love. The casual mention of love makes breathing difficult. Finish your breakfast. Then we can read or color or watch that dinosaur show you like. We spend the morning in careful routine, reading Russian fairy tales, coloring dinosaurs with impossible accuracy that Misha insists is scientific, building elaborate block structures that collapse dramatically and require rebuilding, normal domestic chaos that feels foreign and perfect simultaneously. Around noon, Misha falls asleep on the couch mid-cartoon, small body curled against me, trusting and warm and completely unaware that his father is somewhere making arrangements that might involve violence to protect women he's known a month. I watch him sleep and feel terror mixed with longing. This child has claimed me as thoroughly as his father has. Walking away would break more than just my heart. My phone buzzes. Text from Dimitri. Almost done. No problems. Be home by 3. How's Misha? I type back carefully. Asleep on couch. We made pancakes and read books and built towers. He asked if I'm staying forever. I didn't know what to tell him. His response is immediate. Tell him yes, because you are. We'll discuss details when I'm home, but that's the answer. Yes. I'm staring at the message, trying to process when another text comes. I mean it. Elena, you're staying. Not because of threats or protection. Because you belong here. With us. Forever if you'll have us. The confession through text feels safer than face-to-face. Gives me space to panic without him seeing. But it also feels real in ways I'm not ready to handle. We'll talk when you're home. Focus on whatever you're doing. Be safe. Always. For you and Misha. See you soon. The hours until 3 feel endless. I clean kitchen that doesn't need cleaning. Organize toys that are already organized. Pace like caged animal until Misha wakes and demands attention that distracts from spiraling anxiety. At 2:30, a car pulls into the driveway. My heart jumps until I see it's Katya. She lets herself in with key that suggests she visits often. Sees me and Misha on the floor with coloring books and smiles. Dmitri sent me. Said you might need adult conversation while he finishes business. She sits on the couch. Also wanted me to make sure you're actually okay, and not just pretending for his benefit. I'm fine. Misha and I have been coloring and reading and being remarkably boring all day. I'm trying for casual, probably failing. Boring is good sometimes, especially when your life has been anything but boring recently. She's watching me with sharp eyes. My brother told me some of what's happening, not details. Just that you're in danger, and he's handling it using methods I don't need to know about. That's accurate summary. I'm focusing on staying in the lines of Misha's dinosaur outline. I'm sorry for bringing problems into his life. Into yours by extension. Don't apologize. Dmitri makes his own choices. And honestly, he's more alive now than he's been since Irina died. You did that. You and your complicated past and your Russian fluency and your willingness to sit on floors coloring with his son. Katya leans forward. I'm glad you're here. Glad he found someone worth fighting for. He barely knows me. We've lived together a week. This is insane by any reasonable standard. But I'm not denying her assessment, just stating obvious complications. Reasonable is overrated. Dmitri spent 10 years being reasonable, building safe life, protecting Misha, never taking risks with his heart because losing Irina nearly destroyed him. She's watching Misha color with obvious affection. Then you answered a phone in Russian and reminded him what it feels like to want something beyond just survival. That's worth fighting for regardless of timeline. What if he gets hurt fighting for me? What if this ends badly and Misha loses his father because I brought danger into their lives? The fear spills out unchecked. And then we deal with it. Together, as family, because that's what we do. We protect each other, fight for each other. Don't run when things get complicated. Her voice is firm. You're family now, whether you accept that label or not. Dmitri claimed you. Misha loves you, and I see how you look at both of them, like they're worth staying for despite every instinct telling you to run. I don't know how to be family. I've been alone since I was 15. I don't know how to let people close without expecting them to leave or hurt me. The confession costs me. Then learn. With us, we're patient, we're stubborn, and we don't give up on people we decide matter. She stands. I'm making tea. You're drinking it with me. Misha can keep coloring, and we're having actual conversation about what happens next. Over tea that's too sweet and conversation that's too honest. Katya tells me about growing up Volkov, about their father's legacy of violence, and their mother's desperate attempts to create normal in midst of chaos, about how Dmitri left at 20 and spent years building something different, about Irina who brought light and died too young, about Misha, who carries his mother's spirit. He's been alone a long time, raising Misha, running business, existing between obligations without actually living. You changed that, made him remember what it feels like to want more than just functional. She's holding her tea like anchor. Don't waste that by running because you're scared. Stay, fight with him, build something worth the risk. And if I stay, and it ends badly, if my past destroys everything he's built, the question is barely whisper. Then we rebuild. That's what Volkovs do. We survive, we adapt, we protect our own. She reaches across and takes my hand. You're our own now. Accept it. Before I can respond, we hear the front door, Dmitri's voice calling out that he's home. Misha jumps up shrieking and runs to his father. I follow more slowly, trying to read his expression for clues about how things went. He looks tired, satisfied, slightly dangerous in ways that remind me his past isn't completely buried. He's holding Misha with one arm, reaches for me with the other, pulls me against him in three-way hug that feels like claiming, it's done. Victor and his team are leaving Los Angeles tonight, permanently, with understanding that returning means consequences they won't survive. His voice is quiet, absolute. You're safe now, they're not coming back. How did you? I start to ask. He stops me with look. Details you don't need. Just trust that it's handled. You're protected. They understand that Elena Morrison belongs to me and touching what's mine is suicide. He kisses my forehead, then looks at his sister. Thank you for coming. For staying with her while I handled things. Of course. We had nice chat about family and stubbornness. And not running when things get complicated. Katya is already gathering her things. I'll leave you three to celebrate your victory. Dinner this weekend. My place. All of you. That's not request. She leaves with knowing smile. Dmitri sets Misha down with instruction to go wash hands for snack. Once we're alone, his expression changes, becomes vulnerable in ways I rarely see. I need you to understand something. What I did today, the person I had to be, that's part of who I am, part of my past that doesn't completely disappear no matter how hard I try to build different future. His hands frame my face. If that's too much, if you can't accept that version of me exists alongside the man who makes pancakes and reads bedtime stories, I'll understand. But I need you to know the complete truth before you decide to stay. I know you're dangerous, have since the beginning. The way you move, the way people react to you, the security that's too well trained to be just corporate. I'm searching his face. I've been terrified of you and drawn to you simultaneously since I answered that phone. Today doesn't change that, just confirms what I already knew. And you can live with that, knowing I'm capable of violence when protecting what matters. His voice is careful, testing. I survived 2 years with people who used violence to control, learned to recognize the difference between violence that destroys and violence that protects. Yours protects, that I can live with. I'm holding his wrists where his hands still frame my face. What I can't live with is pretending you're something you're not. Be honest about who you are, all of it, and let me decide if I can handle it. I'm man who left organized crime at 20, built legitimate empire, became father, lost wife, raised son alone, used every skill from my past to protect woman who answered phone in Russian, and reminded me what it feels like to want something beyond just survival. His thumbs brush my cheekbones. I'm falling in love with you, have been since you sat on floor coloring with my son like it was most natural thing in world. That's who I am. Can you live with all of that? I'm girl who survived trafficking, escaped at 16, built life from lies, learned to translate and disappear and survive alone. Then you saw me and decided I was worth protecting despite every logical reason to stay uninvolved. My voice is shaking. I'm falling in love with you too, and it terrifies me, but I'm choosing to stay anyway. Good, because I'm not letting you go. Not now, not ever. He kisses me then. Properly, deep and thorough and loaded with promise. When we break apart, we're both breathing hard. Stay. Forever. Not as guest, not as employee, as mine, as Misha's, as family. Yes, the word comes out before I can overthink. I'll stay, build something with you, be family, all of it. Misha chooses that moment to run back in demanding snack and announcing that Elena is staying forever, which means we're real family now. Dmitri laughs, confirms that yes, we're real family, swings Misha up while keeping one arm around me, and standing in his kitchen with his son between us and his sister's words echoing about not running when things get complicated, I let myself believe that maybe forever is possible, even for a girl who spent 6 years learning that nothing lasts. Chapter 10. Final happy, emotional, and elegant. 6 months later and I still wake up expecting this to be dream I'll have to leave behind. But it's real. The morning light through windows of what Dmitri stopped calling the guest room 3 months ago when I finally moved my things into his bedroom. The sound of Misha's feet running down the hallway because he still climbs into bed with us on weekends. The smell of coffee that Dmitri makes perfectly because he's memorized how I take everything. Elena, Papa, wake up. It's Saturday, and you promised we could go to the museum. Misha launches himself onto the bed with the complete lack of self-preservation that only 5-year-olds possess. We're awake, barely, but awake. I'm pulling him between us. What time is it? 7:30. Same time you asked 5 minutes ago when I first came in. Dimitri's voice is amused. Sleep rough. He's already reaching across Misha to brush hair from my face. Good morning. Good morning. The domesticity of this still catches me off guard. Museum. Right. We promised. We did. Which means I'm making pancakes while you two get dressed. Then we're spending the day pretending to be normal family doing normal things. He's already getting up. Misha, help Elena pick out what dinosaur shirt you're wearing today. I have 7 dinosaur shirts. This is an important decision that requires consultation. Misha is completely serious. I try not to laugh. An hour later, we're in Dimitri's car heading to the Natural History Museum. Misha chattering from the back seat about dinosaurs and fossils and whether velociraptors could actually outsmart humans like he's always believed. Dimitri holding my hand while driving like it's the most natural thing in the world. You're thinking very loud. He glances at me. And what's going on in that head? Just processing. How different my life is now compared to 6 months ago. How I went from hiding and housekeeping to this family, home, safety. I'm watching the city pass outside. It's a lot sometimes. Good lot or bad lot? His thumb is doing that thing where it traces patterns on my palm. Good lot. Overwhelming lot. The kind I never expected to have. I look at him. I keep waiting for it to feel less surreal. For normal to actually feel normal. Instead of like I'm living in someone else's life. Give it time. Eventually you'll stop expecting disaster and just accept that you're allowed to be happy. He brings my hand to his lips, kisses it without taking his eyes off the road. We have all the time you need. The museum is exactly what Misha needed. Hours of running between exhibits and reading placards and explaining dinosaur facts with the confidence of someone who's memorized every detail. Dimitri and I follow patiently, holding hands, taking photos, being normal parents, except we're not married and I'm not Misha's mother. And 6 months ago, I was cleaning offices and hiding from my past. Elena, look, it's the Stegosaurus, the one from my book. Misha is pulling me toward a massive skeleton. Can you read the sign? In Russian? It sounds better in Russian. I read the informational plaque in Russian, translating scientific terms into language that makes Misha's eyes light up with understanding. Dimitri watches us with expression that makes my chest warm. Like watching me with his son is everything he never knew he wanted. You're good with him. He says it quietly while Misha runs to the next exhibit. Natural. Like you've been doing this his whole life instead of 6 months. He's easy to love, smart, curious, trusting in ways I forgot were possible. I'm watching Misha explain something to another child. He makes it easy to be what he needs. He's not the only one. Dimitri's hand finds my lower back. You make it easy for me too. To be more than just single father and businessman. To remember what building life instead of just surviving feels like. Before I can respond, my phone buzzes. Unknown number. My stomach drops automatically even though I know Victor is gone. Know that Dimitri handled it. Know that I'm supposed to feel safe now. I open the message anyway. Old habits dying hard. Yekaterina, this is Alexander, the man who helped you escape 6 years ago. I heard Victor came looking for you. Wanted to confirm you're safe. You don't need to respond. Just know that your debt to me is paid. You survived. Built life. That's all I wanted for you. Be well. A. The message makes tears burn my eyes. The man who gave me documents and money and chance at freedom, checking that I'm okay, that I made it, that his risk was worth it. I show Dimitri. Watch him read it. That's the person who helped you escape. The one who made this possible. Yes. I never knew his full name. Just that he was someone inside who disagreed with trafficking children. He got me out, got me here. I owe him everything. My voice is shaking. I thought I'd never hear from him again. Do you want to respond? Thank him? Dimitri is watching me carefully. I don't know. Part of me wants to. Part of me thinks leaving it alone is safer. For him and for me. I'm staring at the message. What do you think? I think he took tremendous risk to save you. And knowing that risk mattered might mean something to him. But I also think your safety comes first. So if responding feels dangerous, don't. If it feels necessary, do it. I trust your instincts. His hand squeezes mine. Whatever you decide, I support it. I type quickly before I can overthink it. I'm safe. I'm happy. I built life you gave me chance to have. Thank you for seeing me as person worth saving when others saw merchandise. You gave me everything. I hit send, then delete the message thread, eliminating connection even while acknowledging it. Alexander's response comes seconds later. That's all I needed to know. Be safe, Elena. You earned this life. Then nothing. Conversation complete. Debt acknowledged and closed. You okay? Dimitri's watching me. Yeah, I'm okay. Just needed to say thank you to someone who saved me before you could. I'm wiping my eyes. Now let's go find Misha, before he convinces another family to adopt him based on his dinosaur knowledge. The rest of the day passes in comfortable chaos. Museum, lunch, park where Misha runs off energy, ice cream that definitely spoils dinner, but nobody cares because his joy is worth sticky hands. Normal family things that feel less surreal every time we do them. That evening, after Misha is in bed, Dimitri and I are on the couch with wine and comfortable silence. His arm around me, my head on his shoulder, just existing together without needing words. I have something for you. He's shifting, reaching for something on the side table. Been waiting for right moment. Figured after today, after that message from the man who saved you, maybe now is right time. He hands me a small box, not ring-sized, thank God, because I'm not ready for that conversation, but significant enough to make my heart race. Inside is a key, house key, attached to keychain that has small charm. A bear, like the one I kept from childhood, like the one Misha carries everywhere. Key to the house, official one, not guest key, not temporary, permanent. You belong here, not as someone staying until things get better, as someone who's home. His voice is quiet. And the bear, because you're family now, officially, in every way that matters. Dimitri, I'm crying. Can't help it, but I don't know what to say. Say you'll stay, not as girlfriend or live-in help or anything with temporary implications. Stay as partner, as Misha's second parent, as mine, permanently. Build this life with us. Make it real instead of just safe harbor while you figure out next steps. He's turning to face me fully. I love you. Misha loves you. We want you here. Forever. Not just until threat passes or better option appears. Forever. I don't have better option. Don't want better option. This is it for me. You and Misha and this life we're building. I want all of it. The words spill out through tears. I love you. Both of you. I want to stay. Want to be family. Want forever, even though it terrifies me. Then it's settled. You're staying. We're family. Forever is happening whether you're terrified or not. He's kissing me, tasting like wine and promise and home. No more running. No more hiding, just us. Building something good. No more running. I agree. Just home. Later, wrapped in his arms in bed that's officially ours now instead of his with me borrowing space. I let myself fully believe it, that I'm allowed to have this, that survival doesn't have to be solitary, that the girl who was Yekaterina can become Elena, who has family and love and future, that doesn't involve constantly looking over her shoulder. Thank you, I whisper into the darkness, for seeing me, for protecting me, for making me believe I'm worth keeping. Thank you for answering that phone in Russian, for being brave enough to stay when every instinct told you to run, for loving my son, for loving me, despite knowing exactly who I am and what I'm capable of. His arms tighten. You're the best thing that's happened to us. Don't forget that. I'll try not to. I'm drifting. Safe. Dmitri. Yeah? I'm happy. Like actually happy. Not just not miserable. Actually happy. That's new. Good. Get used to it. Because I'm planning on keeping you happy for a very long time. He kisses the top of my head. Sleep. Tomorrow we tell Misha you're staying forever. He's going to be insufferable with joy. Looking forward to it. And I mean it. 6 months ago, I was housekeeping staff hiding from my past. Today I'm home, with family who chose me, who fought for me, who made room in their life for broken girl, who learned to survive alone. The phone that changed everything sits on my nightstand. Same phone where I answered call in Russian, and reminded Dmitri Volkov that I existed, where I received threats that brought us closer instead of tearing us apart, where Alexander confirmed I'd earned this life. And in the morning, Misha will climb into our bed demanding pancakes and dinosaur documentaries and attention from the two people he's decided are his whole world. We'll give it to him, because that—
Now, let's move on to our top 3 story fun facts. 1. Did you know human trafficking in Russia really happens? And worse, orphans are primary targets. Children who lose their parents after age 14 often disappear from the system. The Russian Mafia specifically recruits girls aged 13 to 17, vulnerable, plus no family looking for them. Alina at 15 with no family equals the exact profile traffickers look for. Estimated 20,000 to 30,000 Russian women and children are trafficked every year. In this story, Elena was held for 2 years and escaped at 16. Statistically rare, but possible. Survivors who escape often completely change their identity, exactly what Elena did. Text OP2. The Bratval Russian Mafia operates very differently from the Italian Mafia. Bratval means brotherhood in Russian. Their structure is less hierarchical than the Italian Mafia, operating in more independent cells. Bratva families use last names as identity markers: Volkov, Modulevich, Ivankov. Dmitri leaving the Bratva at 20 is possible if he paid a massive exit fee or had serious leverage. Adro. The Bratva doesn't retire members easily. You leave dead or too powerful to kill. In the story, Dmitri likely paid a fortune and threatened to dismantle operations if blocked. Real life. The Bratva has existed in LA since the 1970s. Brighton Beach, West Hollywood. They control human trafficking, drugs, and money laundering through real estate, exactly what the story mentions. 3. Native verses. Learned Russian accents reveal everything. Moscow has a very specific accent, Moscow's Standard Russian. Dmitri instantly recognized that Alina didn't learn Russian from books, completely realistic. A Russian accent reveals city of origin, social class, and the age someone learned the language. Russians can often identify someone's city of origin within 30 seconds of conversation. This also explains why Elena avoided speaking Russian for 6 years. Her accent would be an instant red flag to any Russian speaker. Did you enjoy these curiosities? Let me know in the comments and I'll bring much more of this. Thank you so much for all of the love. I'll see you in the next story.